Hello everyone, welcome to Vidyanand online. Now in this session, we are going to start with the chapter electricity. So the very first topic is what is electric charge? So let's start with the session. Now, let us discuss the very first experiment in which the boy first rubbed the balloon against his shirt and then brought it near to the piece of Halloween cutout, right? So what was happening out there? Now let me tell you one thing. Whatever is present in this world, whether it's living or non-living, it is made up of atoms. And atoms consist of electrons, protons and neutrons. So since electrons are free to move, and that is why when you rub the balloon against your shirt, then the electrons from your shirt is transferred to the balloon. So what happens is the electrons from the shirt got transferred to the balloon. So now this balloon is having extra number of electrons, and that is why it will behave as a negatively charged substance, whereas shirt will behave as a positively charged substance, right? So now when you are bringing the paper near to this charged balloon, so what is happening is, since this paper is also made up of atoms and consists of electrons, so when the negative charged substance is brought near to this paper, then the electron gets repelled and it comes to this side, and because of which this part of the paper becomes positively charged and is getting attracted towards the balloon, and that is why you could see the Halloween dancing. Now let us talk about the second experiment. So in the second experiment, you saw when the balloon was rubbed against the hair, then your hair got attracted towards the balloon. So why is it so? Again, your hair strands are made up of atoms, and these atoms consist of electrons, protons and neutrons. Now these electrons are free to move, and that is why these electrons from your hair got transferred to the balloon, and the balloon became negatively charged substance, whereas since your hair has lost the electron, and that is why it has become positively charged substance. So now when you bring balloon near to your hair, the hair gets attracted towards the balloon, and that is why you can see those spikes out there. So what can we say about the definition of electric charge? Why were we able to see such kind of attraction? So an electric charge on a body comes as a result of transferring of electrons from one body to another. So whenever there is transfer of electrons from one body to another, electric charge will come into play. Okay. Now to give a body negative charge, you have to add electrons to it, and if you want to give a body a positive charge, then you must remove electrons from it, and which we have seen in that in the last experiment. Now what we can say about electric charge? Electric charge is nothing but the amount of electrons that pass from one body to another. So whenever there will be movement of electrons from one body to another body, we will say that the body will get charged up. The body will have electric charge, whether it is negative or positive. Now first of all, let us understand the structure of atom. So atom consists of a nucleus in the center, and then we have orbits out there in the surroundings. Now in this orbits, the electron revolves. Okay, and inside the nucleus we have protons and neutrons. So protons are positively charged particles, whereas neutrons have no charge. So why it is there when it is not charged anyway? So we know that proton and proton, they are going to repel each other, because always the same charge will repel each other, and in case if neutron is not there, then they will repel each other so much that the nucleus will collapse, and that is why you need to have neutron inside the nucleus if you have more than one protons. So now if you bring a proton near to an electron, what will you see? You will see that there is some kind of electric force, because of which the protons and electrons are getting attracted towards each other. Okay, so whenever you have oppositely charged bodies, they will always attract each other. Now suppose you have this proton here and the another proton here. What do you think will happen? Now there will be an electric force because of which they will be repelled. They will move away from each other. Okay, so whenever you are bringing the similar body towards each other, they will repel each other. Okay, now you have an electron here and you have another electron here, and you want to bring them close to each other, but they won't come close to each other because there is an electric force between them, because of which they will repel each other. So whenever you have similar charge, the bodies will repel each other, and when you have opposite charge, the bodies will attract each other. So what can you say about electric charge? You can say that electric charge is basically the properties of protons and electrons. So जो charge होता है वो एक property है protons की और electrons की, जिसकी वजह से वो दूसरे electron या दूसरे proton को attract या repel कर सकते हैं, right? So it is basically the property of protons and electrons because of which they can attract and repel other protons and electrons. Okay, so हमने दो definitions पढ़ी electric charge की. पहली पढ़ी है कि electric charge कब produce होता है, whenever there is transfer of electrons from one body to another body, then the electric charge is produced. सेकेंड हमने क्या पढ़ा है कि इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज तो एक प्रॉपर्टी है प्रोटॉन्स की और इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की, जिसकी वजह से वो दूसरे प्रोटॉन्स को या तो अट्रैक्ट करेंगे या फिर रिपेल करेंगे. ओके, देयर आर टू काइंड्स ऑफ चार्जेस, पॉजिटिव चार्ज एंड नेगेटिव चार्ज, and these terms were coined by the scientist Benjamin Franklin. So Benjamin Franklin was a famous American inventor who assigned positive and negative standards to charges. Now very important, what is the symbol and what is the unit of charge? तो जैसे हम पढ़ते हैं कि लेंथ की जो यूनिट हो सकती है वो मीटर्स हो सकती है, सेंटीमीटर्स हो सकती है, इट कुड बी किलोमीटर्स ऑल्सो. सिमिलरली चार्ज की भी अपनी एक यूनिट होती है और इसका भी एक सिंबल होता है जिससे हम उसको रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. So we represent charge by small q. Okay, so this is a representation of a charge. Now talking about the unit, so the unit of charge is coulomb, C-O-U-L-O-M-B. So when you pronounce it, B is silent, it is coulomb. Okay, so this unit was named on the scientist Charles Augustin Coulomb. So he was the French physicist who did a lot of work in understanding the charges. Now the short form of Coulomb is capital C. So you can represent the Coulomb as capital C also. Now the very important topic, what is a charge on an electron and a proton? So is the charge on electron 1 Coulomb? No, 1 Coulomb is actually a very high charge when you compare it with charge on 1 electron or 1 proton. So if I talk about how many Coulomb of charge will 1 electron will be having, so it will be 0.00000, oh my god, so many zeros. So it is 18 zeros and then it is 1 6. So you have 18 zeros in between of 1 Coulomb. So it's a huge fraction of 1 Coulomb that gives you charge on 1 electron. So in order to have a proper notation of it, let me shift this point to here. So it will be 0.16 into 10 ki power minus 18. So I have shifted it 18 points here. Now if I shifted 1 point here to the right, it will be 1.6 into 10 ki power minus 19 Coulomb. So 1 electron have only this much of charge. Mind it, it is minus. Minus means it would be in fraction. So 1 electron consists of only this minute of charge. So what do you think? How many electrons would be required in order to make 1 Coulomb of charge? It would be very high. So large number of electrons constitute 1 Coulomb of charge. So since it is electron, that is why we will put negative sign here. So 1 electron has minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb of charge. And we know that charge on electron is equal to charge on proton. So charge on proton will be plus 1.6 into 10 ki power minus 19 Coulomb. Now the very important question, how many electrons makes minus 1 Coulomb of charge? So for this we have the formula Q is equal to N into E. So the total charge depends upon the number of electrons and the charge on one electron. So this is total charge. This is number of electrons and this is charge on one electron. Okay, so you have to make -1 coulomb of charge. So you can write -1 here and you have to calculate, and in place of charge on one electron you can write 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Now since it is charge on one electron, that is why I will write minus here. Okay, so it will be -1 upon minus 1.6 10 to the power minus 19 is equal to n. This minus and minus will get cancelled. 1 upon 1.6 is equal to 0.625, and when this 10 to the power minus 19 will go to numerator, it will be 10 to the power 19. In order to have proper notation, what we are going to do is we are going to shift this point here. Okay, for this it will be 6.25 10 to the power 19 minus 1, it would be 18. So see here, oh my god, so many electrons will constitute -1 coulomb of charge. So I am sure now you can solve any numericals in which you have to find out the number of electrons. Now let us quickly revise what we have studied. So we studied about proton. So a proton is a positively charged subatomic particle having a charge of plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Two protons will repel each other, and that is why you have neutron. So what is neutron? A neutron resides inside the nucleus but have no charge. It avoids a repulsion between protons in a nucleus. So if you have more than one protons, you will always have a neutron inside the nucleus. Now next, electron. So what is electron? It is negatively charged subatomic particle which revolves around the nucleus, and it is electron which get transferred from one body to another body, and it has a charge of minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, which is actually very small. So it is 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons which constitute 1 coulomb of charge. So it was all about electric charge. Now in the next session we are going to study about electric current, and I shall meet you there. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring. Bye bye and take care of yourself.